I'm Francesca, and joining me today is Scottish actress Kelly Macdonald, who stars in the film adaptation of Ian McEwan's novel, The Child in Time. Kelly, thanks so much for having a quick chat to us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, tell us a little bit about The Child in Time.
The Child in Time, like you said, is based on an Ian McEwan novel. He wrote it in the 80s, and it's about a father, a man who loses his daughter in a split second in a supermarket, and it's about the kind of repercussions of that in his relationship and in his life.
I'd read the book, and to be honest with you, as a parent, I was kind of dreading the beginning of this story. And it was as uncomfortable and traumatic as I expected. But very quickly, this becomes a film not so much about that particular moment, but about two people sort of getting on with life, isn't it? And helping each other through this trauma.
Yeah, I think the book delves a lot deeper into other areas, but our film is really concentrating on Stephen, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, and Julie, his wife, and the disappearance of their daughter has a sort of obviously seismic effect in their life, and they struggle to go on afterwards as a couple. But there's this lovely warmth in the film. It is very traumatizing to think about anything, devastating happening to a child or a disappearance of a child. And I would say the film isn't as depressing as it sounds.
No, it's not. It's actually surprisingly hopeful and uplifting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it really is. It's a film about love and life, and it's a very beautiful thing. I think Julian Farino, the director, is it's down to him, really.
Oh, that's very gracious of you. I think you played a little part of it. Can you, Kelly, can you remember, and I'm sorry, it's probably a little while ago, but can you remember your first thoughts after reading the script for the first time?
Well, I remember I read the script just before I was going to have a coffee with Julian, the director, and I really just wanted to play Julie. I loved every scene, every scene in there meant something, and I kind of wanted to be part of the drama of it all. And then I met Julian, and we got on very well, and we seemed to be on the same page. And yeah, so it went from there, really.
So when you read a role like this that you really want to do you visualize yourself in the role?
Well,
do you kind of see yourself see yourself sort of embodying this character, or do you just wait until you see what the director wants and things like that?
I mean, it all starts with the words on the page. Really, I have to have a response to the words, and want to get in a bit deeper, I suppose. I mean, I have read things where I just can't find a way in, and I don't see that some things are meant to be for me, and I don't think I've been wrong in those ones that I've not gone in for.
So how do you prep for a role like this?
Well, we were really fortunate to have a quite short rehearsal period, but it's always nice to be able to have a read through at least, and we also managed to have a couple of days where we would read through the scenes. I think Benedict was in with a number of the other actors, and I popped in to read my scenes with him, and it's not really about getting the scenes up on their feet necessarily. It's more about talking them through, and it was just a lovely process. It was a very intelligent script, and when you're working with talented people, it kind of is just a dream, really.
And of course, Benedict Cumberbatch, it was his production company, Sunny March, that was actually producing this film. What was that like for him? I mean, I can imagine that he was thoroughly professional as an actor on set and things, but did he sort of have other things sort of flying through his mind at the same time?
And not that I mean, I've never worked with Benedict before, but he was entirely focused. And I would imagine he's like that on every single other job. But he was very much focused on the part. He didn't, you wouldn't really know that he was producing it. It wasn't, he just wanted to get Stephen right. And, I was there to get Julie right. So it didn't feel too different.
You had such a lovely chemistry together on the screen. Do you know, as you were talking about before, when you go and you read scenes for the first time, can you feel that chemistry?
I think a little bit. I don't know. There's a bit of magic or something that happens. I think sometimes when you're filming a scene. There was a few scenes with Benedict that felt very, very special. But I really. I am a good actress when I work with good actresses and actors. It's that simple. And if you're working with somebody that's responding to you and you can respond to them, that's kind of all it's about, really. And Benedict, thankfully, is one of those actors.
So the material, as we've sort of mentioned, is quite heavy. I imagine that you're an expert now at leaving a character behind at the end of the day. Is that the case?
I think so. I mean, we'll see. I can only go sort of from one project to the next, and there's always a bit of a difference. Keeps my job interesting, I suppose. I never do the same thing twice, but so far so good. I kind of I have noticed that in the darker the project, the lighter it tends to be on set, and I think that's kind of psychologically quite interesting.
It is. Do you think that's something which sort of yes, as you say, people subconsciously are just trying to keep themselves above the character?
So. I mean, I think so. When I was filming No Country for Old Men and the Coen Brothers film, that was hilarious. It was really fun. I mean, Josh Brolin is a very funny man anyway, but it was just, it just seems to be the case. So, mind you, I've worked on a few comedies as well, and they're also hilarious. They're all hilarious. Filming is just hilarious generally.
Well, that's really good to hear. Carla is one of my favourite of your characters, and I was wondering if you do, if characters are a little bit like children. You're not really supposed to be fond of some or more fond of some. Are there a few characters from throughout your career which has been so varied that you are still so fond of?
I don't know about fond, but there's definitely there's parts that I've played that have definitely opened up, more opportunities to me. There's certain ones, like Carla Jean. Playing Carla Jean was definitely one of them, and playing Mary McCation in Gosford Park was another. There's been certain sort of high points.
And I love Merida as well, something completely different.
That was very different. I've never done anything like that ever. But, it's a completely different way of working. I had to, usually what I bring to a role is a very sort of natural type of performance. And that doesn't really work very well on animated features. You have to be sort of full throttle and kind of everything has to be more. Even you have to make noises that you'd never even think of. Like, okay, we're going to do the bit now where Merida's climbing off a horse, and I had to make a noise like I was climbing off a horse. It's all very specific and mind melting.
Which, of course, when you're standing in a studio with a whole lot of people looking at you through a bit of glass, it's like, right.
It is. I mean, I would definitely take a moment. I'd sort of have to say, okay, just give me a second, okay? And I try and get my head around it and hope for the best.
I've got my horse. Now I'm going to climb up on my horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now you're going to get hit by a low branch, that sort of thing.
And it's interesting you talk about that, what you bring to your roles is something sort of quite natural and things. And the one thing that I noticed about Julie is that she is, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, she is an ordinary, normal person. She's one of us. Was it quite refreshing to play a character like that was someone that didn't require a lot of makeup or special effects or, someone of our time?
Yeah, no, it was, I like having the opportunity to work in different eras, but it is quite nice doing present day, I have to say. But I never get makeup. I really, I every time I go in for my first makeup test or meeting, the makeup artists always say, I think we're going to go very natural with you. And I think, yeah, okay. So, I mean, I think a couple of times on board with Empire, I got to dress up a wee bit, but it's not generally the case.
The Ian McEwan novel, had you read it? Are you a fan?
I hadn't read that before. I'd read the film script, but I had read other of his books. He's he's an amazing writer. He's a very male writer, though. I think.
Yes, that's true. No, that's true.
There was a lot in The Child in Time that kind of was. I don't know. There was chapters on sort of things that were kind of going over my head slightly, and I like more of an emotional read. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm waffling.
That's all right. No, I know exactly what you mean. And I felt that actually when I've read a variety of his books. Was there any word on how he felt about the film adaptation?
I know that he was very very pleased with it. He wrote a very nice email to the director, and he was there at the read-through as well. Actually, I just said a quick hello to him, but he's a very sort of iconic British figure, actually. But yeah, so he was happy, so that's always good.
Good. Now you've done both film and TV. What is it that you love about television? I'm not going to ask you to pick what you prefer. I'm just going to.
No, I don't prefer either. I mean, I like the opportunities in both. But I mean, I think in television you get to delve a bit deeper into a character's story, and that's interesting. And I got the first taste of that really was on Boardwalk Empire, where I was used to playing. I filmed a pilot, and that's what I was used to. That could have been a standalone film almost. And then to go back and revisit a character and watch her progress and look into her past a bit as well, it was really interesting. So I think you get more of a story.
And, the writing, the attitude is really changing towards television, isn't it? I mean, once upon a time, a film actor might not even contemplate doing television. And now, these brilliantly written television shows are filled with, incredible film actors and things. Have you noticed that sort of change in attitude within the industry?
Oh, yeah. I think that's been going on for years, to be honest. I've never had an issue with, I started in film, so I think it was easier for me not to have an issue with it. I kind of was delighted to get, my first job at all. And I think the film TV thing is there's just so much good quality sort of drama out there on television and great directors, and I think we're as far as the cinema's concerned, money was being put into these sort of big flash movies that could be made into sequels, and it left room for all these interesting filmmakers went to TV and could actually get their projects made, and it's just changed everything.
And And is there much difference between when you're working in the States or in the UK?
No, craft service is a bit different, but yeah, no, I wouldn't say there's much of a difference at all anymore.
Mm. Oh, well, look, we are absolutely thrilled to be playing The Child in Time this Saturday on Rialto Channel, and thank you so much for talking to us. Can I ask what you're working on at the moment?
I'm just about to start a 4-part BBC drama. I actually start this weekend, so
right.
I'm sort of, I've got my head in that, so it's quite difficult to talk about anything else. I'm still trying to remember.
Well, this is actually the problem, though, isn't it? Because you film, The Child in Time is probably something that was a year and a half ago for you, and then all of a sudden you're trying to put yourself back into that time frame, aren't you? Back into that movie.
Time last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very odd. I suddenly blanked on Ian McEwan's name earlier. No.
Oh, look, hey, best of luck with your new series, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I really appreciate that.
Okay, no problem at all.
Thank you. Oh, now, Kelly, just before you go, I just have to have a little fan moment and tell you that the last film I saw you in was Goodbye, Christopher Robin. And I utterly embarrassed myself because I was sitting there watching the film absolutely fine, and then in that pivotal scene where they come to talk to you about Christopher Robin at war, dying, and your reaction, and I just burst into tears in the theatre, and I burst into tears really loudly. So I just wanted to say, there are these moments, and I have these moments, and I watch a lot of movies, but I have these moments, and they stay with me forever, and that is one that will stay with me. I just thought you were absolutely divine, so I just wanted to tell you that.
Thanks so much. Thank you. That's really nice.
The person I was looking at.
Sorry for making you cry, though.
No, but it wasn't. I just all this emotion came out, and the woman next to me went, "You're right." And I went, "Yeah, I'll be fine in a moment." Sorry, she just got me. She got me. So
that's good. Job done.
I just wanted to say thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Kelly.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.